This is a weird one, not a matchup a lot of people expected to happen. And Steve, this, because it is such an outlier matchup and because these are two smaller markets with Oklahoma City and Indiana, do you think that in the future this will be a forgotten NBA Finals?
Yeah, Cam, I do. So I think that this finals is going to be enjoyable to watch. I think that these two teams, we always talk about in boxing, styles make fights, right? I think this is a matchup where it's very, very similar teams, both very fast up and down the court. And I think that they both have marquee guys in today's NBA playing in, 2 point guards playing against each other, both superstars, right? But when I think about finals that are things that you and me talk about on a regular basis, oh, this finals matchup, that finals matchup, the majority of the time it includes somebody who is an all-time player. It includes somebody like for the last, 2 decades, a LeBron, a Steph, a KD, a Giannis, a Jokic, guys who you and me are talking about. Where are we ranking these guys on the top 30? So with these finals, where I think both of these guys are up and coming, where I think both of these guys are coming into their own careers, as of right now, I think that these finals to me are more similar to the 2004 Pistons, or I'm sorry, is it 2003 or 2004? I think it's 2003.
2004, the 04 Pistons.
I think this is more like the 2004 Pistons to me, because it's a team that you're like, as you're going back through thinking, oh, okay, Spurs won this finals. And then you're like, wait a second, I forgot the Pistons won. Or like you and me did last night, where you had that incredible pool of the 79 Sonics. I didn't even know the Sonics won a finals. Now, I'm not saying that this finals won't be the start to one of these guys having a legacy or a resume, but in 20, 30 years, this is not a finals where I think you and me are going to sit back and say, man, you remember that 2025 finals between Shea and Halliburton when they just duked it out? No, to me, this isn't going to be something like that. So I'm looking at this more of it's going to be a fun matchup, but I'm not going to put much weight or stock in these finals as a all-time great finals.
It will definitely not be an all-time great finals, but I don't think this would be a finals that we forget, and I don't think this is a finals that doesn't have repercussions for either side throughout history. So I think, to go with your point about the 04 Pistons, I think those random NBA championships are ones that we stick out, and like the years kind of grab you right away. Like I have written on my notes, I have the 04 Pistons. I feel like 2019 with the Raptors being in there randomly, everyone knows about that championship. Everyone knows about 95 when Jordan was gone. The NBA has burned the tapes, but Shaq and the Magic played Hakeem and the Rockets in that finals. 21, I feel like everyone kind of remembers the Suns and the Bucks, that weird matchup. So there are finals that stick out that are like, that's odd, but I feel like they're noteworthy still that you remember them. To go with the superstars on either side, with SGA or Halliburton, no matter what happens, whether either one wins or lose, it will have important repercussions. So for SGA, if he wins this championship, going from a number one seed in his conference to winning an MVP, to winning the finals, to possibly winning the finals MVP, that's an elite group that he would then be joining and amongst elite company. But if he loses, it then goes in the opposite direction of SGA was on the precipice of getting into an all-time group in conversation, now shut down by the completely random Indiana Pacers. And Tyrese Halliburton, who went from being the most overrated player in the NBA, prior to that being on Team USA and getting more minutes than Jason Tatum, and now all of a sudden he's in the NBA Finals. Like, it's a weird sort of path for everybody. And Rick Carlisle, who you had talked to me last night about, what does that do for him? Where does it put him? Is he now in more conversations? He either, yes, is now going to be in some different coaching conversations, or no, he's going to remain the same. So there are still a lot of implications or a lot of changes that could be made after these NBA Finals. It also can potentially show us what type of roster construction works. because we've talked before about how the NBA's changed. Teams aren't built the same, and they're not given the same kind of vibe. There's two very different styles going on between the Thunder and the Pacers. As I've mentioned a bazillion times, OKC is a very technical, proficient team. It is a bunch of good basketball players who are all doing very good things. Whereas Indiana, maybe not as carefully constructed as far as pieces they have, but everyone is bought in on the system. They're buying in with each other. It's us versus the world. Like, it is an island of misfit toys, so to speak, where it's like nobody believes in us except for us. So now we get to see which one of these constructions of, do I want to build the most technically proficient roster, or do I want a bunch of guys who would just buy into each other and play off of vibes? So again, a lot of repercussions, I think, can come out of these finals, and we will remember it one way or another, depending on how it turns out.
And for me, in order for this to matter, when this finals is done next year, these guys have to stay at this level. Or else, to me, this finals will be forgotten, because it's like, oh, well, they were good one year and then all of a sudden they kind of fell off. Do you see what I'm saying?
I do, but then I think, especially for the Thunder, that's a part of why it would be memorable. I mean, the Thunder went from being a team that nobody thought was going to be beaten, was, like I said, the number one seed, the best defense, the best offense, was running through everybody. Now, if they lose, like you're saying, what was that all about? Was that a flash in the pan? What are we looking at? But now if they win, then it becomes, oh, is this signifying the start of the future of these new superstars? Is this going to be the new team like Boston, where they are just in contention every single year because of their overwhelming talent? Like, that's why I'm saying either way these finals ends, something is going to come out of it. And I feel like that doesn't always happen.
No, you have a point there. That's something that I guess I didn't really think about, is what is the repercussions of this finals, because you're right. Either A, Shea, lives up to the hype and joins that elite group that you mentioned, or B, he loses and now, like you said. So yeah, I mean, it'll definitely be interesting to watch. I'm still indifferent.
And then look at the Indiana side. Like I said, no one expected them to be there. They have this amazing postseason run. And even during the regular season, we had been like, the Pacers have been creeping up in like team stats, and they had a decent, we're like, where is Indiana coming from? So this finals run either caps off like, you didn't believe in us and should have the whole time, or we didn't believe in you the whole time because we shouldn't have. Look what just happened. Listen to the sound. I listen to the sound.